Let's get started.
Alright. So last time with the Whims of Fate, Erden returned to Brina and Adea, telling them that things were getting serious and that they needed to leave. Everyone went to go put their things away. Rada has potentially found something about Tong. Yeah, on the way to our rendezvous, Erden got the party lost for about 25 minutes. But we do eventually get back to the sandwich shop. Have lunch, and then DeWitt took us to the port, or not, to a tree that would take us to the portal. Shortly before that, Erden asked his sister about a certain sibling, and more or less when she was getting married. On the other side of the tree, there was a little boat that was of brief concern, though thankfully it didn't sink, and we made it safely to Kimmery. We were about to set off in a direction when Rada noticed some light and a voice in her head, telling her to go east. We followed the directions of said voice until we met a familiar face, or familiar boar.
Yay!
Everald led us to a town where some of us put glamours up, and even Everald has a glamour, making her look like a dog. Inside, we were given a discount on, we were given the first round of food and drink for free, and a discount on the room, because the proprietor felt sorry for us. And Rada had a conversation with Lou. To which she informed the rest of the group about.
Including the possibility of Taliesin returning to the drum.
Well, the option to return Taliesin to the drum.
But did I not say option?
No, you just...
Okay. I missed that word then. The option of Taliesin being able to return to the drum. My apologies.
And at least on that front, seemed more or less unanimous to let Taliesin rest. That man's been through enough.
Did I say I wanted you in my lap?
Yes, mother.
Subconsciously, you did.
You are a monster.
I think the recording will show it was in fact requested.
How do you sound like a lawyer?
Your Honor, I did request to be in the lab.
Okay. So first things first, Arthur, can you roll me a d4? Bless you.
1.
Okay. Cool. All right, so we're all currently in our rather cramped quarters for the night. Is anyone going to do anything?
Than staying at Beatlands.
That's a good question.
More. More crypt.
Man.
We are talking like hotel room, not
Student dorm.
Studio apartment.
yeah, not a studio apartment. So anyone want to do anything before they go to bed?
Not me.
Just a little bit of standard studying, but we're going to bed earlier than we used to.
And I might write down a couple notes or something for stories, but other than that, no.
Been a long march. I think we're all about basically passing out
In the mud.
Okay.
in a heavy downpour.
What? Albus. Darling, I do not want to pet you right now. I'm busy.
What does that
Ugh.
matter? I require pets.
But mother, I'm the most important thing in the world.
You certainly think so. No, that's terrible. So you're gonna get me. It's not great, but it's okay. So everyone's just go straight to bed?
Other than the two things that Udaya and I both mentioned for our characters, I believe so.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. I was being distracted by Kat and trying to prep something.
Today I'll probably do some late night studying, but she's going to bed earlier than she, usually used to.
I write down a couple notes for some story ideas, and then roll into a ball and go to sleep.
Okay. Mary, high or low?
Low.
Okay. Dominic, high or low?
So,
All right.
What? Why are you
In an,
laughing, Marco?
Just the expression.
in an interesting turn of events, Udaya actually goes to bed before Brina.
we had lots of story notes to write down.
Apparently.
So, we'll see how that pans out. Rana,
Oh boy.
you're having some interesting dreams. Um, you're not entirely sure where you are. The building structures don't look familiar. They're very well, it's not architecture that you are familiar with. You're seeing lots of vibrantly colored buildings with curved rooftops. But it's like they're stacked on each other. Lots of windows. Lots of flowering trees around these buildings. And like a ridiculous number of stairs to get up to them. Like, holy cow, why do you need that many stairs? Also, stairs are dumb. Like, clearly, this was not built with centaurs in mind. Um, And for whatever reason, you feel the desire to go into one of these buildings, and so you end up taking one of these obnoxious sets of stairs up to this building. And you get inside. There doesn't seem to be very many people around, which is interesting. But you see lots of tapestries hanging from the walls in here, and these tapestries have these symbols all written all over them. What languages do you speak again?
It should be Greek, Latin, Fey, and Persian.
That's what I thought. You have no idea. You think this might be written language. In a way, it's reminiscent of Persian writing, but it seems more complicated than that. And it's Persian is kind of pretty. It's written in like lots of curves and things like this. This is a little more blocky. It's not like exactly squares or anything like that, but it's definitely got more straight lines than curves in these words, or at least what you're assuming are words. Um, and they're written kind of in these really long, tall columns. And as you're kind of looking at these words, you hear this sort of uh, tenor voice speak and say, "I see you have found my palace. Do you like it?"
It could be a bit easier for me to get around with fewer stairs, but otherwise, I don't see anything disagreeable.
Are you going to turn to look to whoever spoke?
Yes.
It is a very short, fat man who's very red in the face. He's got a.
Better one.
And I'm going to post a picture that kind of gets across what he is. In here.
Okay.
Yes. Well, we don't get many of your kind out here. But I will make a special exception for you. I could use someone with your talents and skills in my ranks.
And Pray tell, who are you? If you don't mind me asking.
You mean you do not know who I am?
Um, I recently had a talk with another deity, presuming you are a deity, who told me he was interested, but apart from one, I could not put where the others were from.
Yes, I heard you had word with Lou. Trust me, you do not want to go with a Celtic deity. They're very pompous. Besides, he's a god of the sun. You're a twilight cleric. My name is King Yan. I'm a death deity. I prefer the dark.
Never met Lou.
He's never met Rana, clearly.
It to not to be as offensive as I can, you do look similar to a previous companion of mine, and that name does sound similar to the words that she spoke in her native tongue.
Yes, Tong. The one who does not believe deities should have any sort of place of honor. You really should pick your friends better. Now, as I said, I could offer you a place of honor and could retain all the things that you are used to having, all the magic you like to use. I only need you to do some reaping every now and then, that's all. Brina, it's not gonna take a lot. You've got a high enough passage for this. Rana's tail is twitching agitatedly in her sleep.
Is the Dale already asleep?
Yeah, because I outlasted Idea. Or well, actually, that's a valid question still.
No, she is asleep. I did have that's what I had you guys have me roll for. Brina's currently the
Okay, so I noticed her tail twitching. I'm gonna look at her face and see how, like, what's her expression look like.
Um, well, so, so you've probably been with her long enough to know the face that she looks when she's trying not to be offensive, but doesn't necessarily like the situation or what's being said.
How do I be respectful when I'm offended? This is the line I must walk.
I'll get up from where I'm writing and just kind of go over to Rada and kind of like put my hand on her shoulder. It's like, but at the same time, like also like not wanting to like I don't want to disturb her necessarily, but I want to like
okay, somebody's here.
yeah that kind of a thing where it's like I have a hand on her shoulder. It's like Rada, and like I'll say it very quietly. So maybe her subconscious will pick up on it, but not wake her up necessarily, but just kind of like trying comfort somebody when they're having a bad dream without waking them up, kind of a thing?
Because it's Rada and your passive perception is ridiculous, you will hear a soft Rada that sounds a lot like Brina just float past your ear. um, and because it's Brina saying this and patting you and trying to reassure you, I'm gonna say she's giving you an inspiration die.
So, normal inspiration or bardic inspiration?
Bardic inspiration. Yeah.
All
And then bye, Jess.
That's for Lou.
Cheese. Bards.
right. So, we'll become less tense.
So, shall I add you to the ranks?
I thank you for the offer, but I think I might have to decline. The well, perhaps the choice of words was not the best. I don't know how I feel about reaping.
Oh, excuse me. Let me.
Oh, don't worry about that. It's easy after the first couple.
Don't fear the Reaper.
I adore you.
Needs more cowbell.
How now? I am a judge. I know who deserves the judge, who deserves to live happy lives and who deserves to die.
Do I notice any, like, I know Rada became calmer when because I'm not like patting her shoulder. My hand's just like, it's that calm, like, firm presence on her shoulder. I know that she calmed down after I first did that, but with the stuff that he's saying, does it aggravate her anymore?
Oh yeah.
Like, can I tell?
Yep.
I was just like, I have a feeling that something like that would really.
Yeah. You'll feel her muscles, like everything tenses. Like she's ready to spring, like a frightened horse ready to just bolt across the pasture kind of thing. Like everything's tense.
Yeah, seeing that, I'll just start kind of like gently shaking her, like, Rada, like doing the same thing, but kind of like increasing it a little bit, like, Rada. Now I'm more trying to like gently wake her up because it's like, okay, whatever's happening is not good.
Okay. So, what I need in this case is I'm going to need trying to think. I'm going to need a strength roll from Brina. And then yeah. And then Rada, we're going to counter it with wisdom to see if you wake up to whatever she's doing. Like just because you're aware that that she's there touching you and talking to you does not mean that you will necessarily gain consciousness.
He said strength, right?
Yes.
Ooh, that's actually pretty good. 19.
That was 16 or 19.
19. I rolled a 16, but I have a +3.
Nice.
Well, I don't think any roll I have, if it if it's a check, then that's a 14. If it's a save,
I imagine this room is small
17.
enough that you get a +5 from me if it's a save.
I would
Yeah,
assume
it's
the same, honestly.
Okay, it's a check.
yes. So Brina will successfully wake you up then. And I'll say the first thing you're gonna wake up to, Rada, is not even Brina. Brina, you didn't even notice, but Emerald had gotten up and then she's just like plopped her face right next to Rada. So Rada, you wake up and it's just
Or in your face.
oh, hold on. I got this. I got this. Uh hold it over. Big friend awake.
Yes, she is awake now, Emerald. Thank you. I got him. Bad dream or bad deity encounter? Or are those the same thing anymore?
Just had a meeting with the Death God.
What?
Mm,
Does he know you?
Hopefully, he knows that Rada deserves to live a happy life.
well, let's just say that he was aware of Tong, and that I could probably have a better choice of friends with her being the case study.
Well, he doesn't sound very nice. I mean, Tong has her issues, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
There's sometimes I'm intimidated by her, but she's been very helpful with teaching me about herself and how to do mail in between the worlds. That's not very nice of him to not like Tong, but you didn't seem very happy in your sleep, so
No, no. Was that 4 down, 3 to go?
3 more gods want to talk to you?
Yes.
That sounds intimidating and exciting all at the same time.
Well, one of them is Rhiannon. So.
You know, and to be fair, I don't think King Yan's gonna mess with you if Rhiannon's interested in you because she can snuff him out. She'd be like, yeah, I got this brother who's a much more powerful death deity than you. One touch and sorry.
So he called the Celtic deities pompous, which, having spoken with Lou, that's false.
Oh,
Well,
speaking of Marco, can you give me a high or low?
Hi.
Oh, excellent. Thank you. Okay, keep going.
You're welcome.
well, I guess that means you have one less deity to choose from. That sounds good.
Yep. I mean, he offered that I would have the same things that I had under Artemis if I did some reaping from time to time.
Again, does he know you?
At least by name and reputation.
Holy.
And yet he thinks that you would be okay with that. Okay, that's confusing. You want me to try and stay up so that you're not alone in your sleep?
If I happen to go back into that meeting, yes.
Okay,
So,
I can, I
perhaps,
can try for that.
perhaps if Erden never, or well, Erden might be a case for helping the deity stay away, since he was able to do it last time.
Yeah, he definitely has a much better capability of doing that than I do. I can wake him up if you'd like. I mean, we've all had a really long day, but I think protecting you and your sleep is a little bit more important right now.
Um, let him sleep for the moment. Only wake him up if I start being stressed again.
Okay. And I'll stay up in the meantime and watch. Thank goodness I was up writing story notes down. I'll keep writing.
Um, you guys are having your conversations and getting settled back down. Erden, you're having a bizarre dream. It
Oh
was
boy.
well, at first, like you just, dreaming about being back on the Isle of the Blessed, um, hanging out with your friends and doing things that you probably weren't supposed to because you were supposed to be in lessons. But hey, who wants to be in class all day when it's so nice out? We never get this weather. And then all of a sudden, um, your dream shifts, and you're suddenly in um, this weird looking place with very brightly colored buildings and curved roofs with lots of stairs.
Oh dear goodness.
Rhiannon's standing next to you, and she's like, she doesn't seem to see you there. She's just kind of like, Cernanos, I don't think this is necessary. And you realize her brother is standing on the other side of her, and he's just like, are you kidding me? Did you hear that? You heard that whole conversation, right? Like, he insulted us. He insulted a perfectly reasonable person who has every right to be upset with the deities that she has encountered. Okay? And then he had the audacity to ask somebody who actually, by your standards, somebody you want to preserve life, to take it. How are you not okay with this? Like, how are you okay with this? I don't even never going to pick him. And it's not like, I mean, if he tried to force her, there'd be repercussions. I mean, Lou was interested in her too, and you think he's gonna let that slide? Where are you going? He just started like stomping up the stairs. She's just like, should I stop you? Like, I should be preserving life, but the life worth preserving. Cernanos. Okay. Then she just like sighs and follows him.
Or just following right along, like, wow, this place is weird.
You see the tapestries on the wall with all the weird writing? All of this.
That's weird. That's also weird. I have no context for any of this.
You're just like, wow, this is weird.
This place is pretty. I like it.
Lots of flowering trees everywhere. Rhiannon speaks up again. She's just like, I mean, it's one thing when they just die. You can't just stroll in here and take his life. I never said I was going to take his life, but it doesn't mean I can't scare him a little bit. I mean, look at me. And he just like puts on the death god persona. And so like the lights dim, it gets dark, and all you can see are like his white eyes without the pupils. And for a moment, even you're kind of like, like you feel it.
That's a very good intimidation. Yep.
12 out of 10. 12 out of 10.
I would hate seeing that in the dark forest. Absolutely.
You're like, Rhiannon doesn't flinch. She just kind of like, the deadpan, just like, seriously. He's like, look, I'm just gonna scare him a little bit. He deserves that much. And if it proves he deserves more, I'll just shake his hand. Turn it out. What? I'm tired of these lesser gods thinking that they're all that.
I mean, if you really want to intimidate him, I would just appear behind him and ask what he's doing.
Is that Erden?
Yeah. Ern's finally actually saying, talking out loud for once. Like,
Rhiannon blinks and just looks back. Cerdinos doesn't seem to notice. She's just like, what are you doing here?
I don't know. But if you're talking about Rada, then I imagine that there's some form of bridge going on, and it's doubly so because you're here, so yeah. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Where are we?
Uh, look at my map.
We were having an adult conversation, and the child walked into the room. But we must.
This might be DU.
Yeah, do you? Do you?
It's very pretty. Also, if you're worried about the whole, killing a person thing, do gods count as people? Genuinely,
Yes.
I'm asking.
Yes, we're people.
Okay.
Come here. And she'll actually, gesture to you. And then she'll take your hand and place it over her chest. You can actually feel a heartbeat.
I love that.
I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this.
We are very much alive and very much people. In fact, anything sentient, I consider people. Anything that breathes, I consider people. Yes, I do mean plants.
Mm-hmm.
Fungi, bacteria. Bacteria are viruses, sort of. I'm on the fence about that one.
Or research required.
So yes, she's just kind of looking around, and then she realizes Cernos is not there. She's like, "Shit!" Like down the hall, just in time for you to hear this sort of startled shout. You get around a corner, and there's Cernos putting on the intimidation, and there's this short little red-faced man who's just like, I'm sorry, like freaking out. Oh, for heaven's sake. She just kind of comes up. She is full of light. She's on the light end of the spectrum here. He
Mm-hmm.
grabs Cernos' hand, and immediately the lights come. He goes, Rhiannon, have you learned your lesson, Yan? Yeah, yes. Are you gonna leave Rada alone? Yes? Good. We're leaving, Cernanos. And you, wake up. And she, claps her hands, and you're, startled awake.
Actually, just before that happens, assuming she turns around, I'm assuming this is still under a slight amount of dream logic. So is it possible for Ern to have been chewing a baguette while this has been happening?
Absolutely.
Since he doesn't know what popcorn is yet.
You're just eating an apple while watching all of this?
No, baguette.
Baguette.
Baguette. Yes.
You get startled awake. You sit up like you're still holding the baguette. I will say that Rada had just started to settle down, and Brino was just starting to settle down. So both of you hear him, see him just, they're oh.
Aaron, you okay over there?
That was the tastiest baguette I've ever had.
Dream about bread. Now, see, that's a dream that makes sense to me.
Oh no, it was actually Cernunnos getting upset with, I guess, another death god or something. It was actually very funny to watch.
Wait, was this in a place that had lots of stairs?
Oh yeah, stairs, beautiful flower trees. A lot of stuff was red. Yeah.
I'm just like watching Rada's face as they're like conversing. I'm like, why do I have a feeling that this is the same place? Why do I have that feeling?
I suppose I'll have to sink Sun and Nose eventually.
Yeah, probably.
The guy who wanted the already said he was a death god, but still weird to me.
Now, Cernunnos was like ready to bat for you. It was actually kind of cool. Also, no, I think there was a lot of just anger about insults or something. Is that what happened?
Well,
Well, he didn't wrong.
he called the Celtic pantheon pompous, which, having met Lou, I think is unequivocally false. And he also said that I could make better friends than Tong. I called her one that doesn't believe in the gods when she really should.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
What makes sense?
No, just the whole thing I watched now. I assume he didn't take up his offer then.
Brina just gonna
Thankfully,
look at you like, are you nuts? You really think Rada would follow somebody like that?
thankfully, Brina woke me up before I had to decline.
Awesome. Go on your brain.
Hey, I was just up writing story notes down, so I'm glad I was able to help. So I'm gonna stay up and watch over Rada just because she's been having a lot of interviews today with deities, and since some of them come in her sleep, one need a little help getting out of. I offered to watch over her, but I did offer to wake you up in case we need a little bit more force to move the deity along. Like with Neptune.
We should. I mean, that's what we should start doing. Whenever Rod goes to sleep, you, Brina, should just stay up a little bit longer, see if it's distressing or not, and then you wake me up if it becomes an actual problem.
Mm-hmm. And Emerald seems to be doing a really good job of watching over Rada too, so we have a couple sets of eyes.
And I think we will only. Well, I have 3 more meetings, I would have to guess.
Only 3 more. Well, if that's everything, I'm gonna go back to bed now.
Mm-hmm. Ra will also go back to bed.
Trina will happily continue writing and watching over Rada.
Okay. Yeah. So that's the excitement of the night. Um, we'll say, Rada, you do not get a full night's rest. Just due to everything that was going on. So you will have 1 level of exhaustion. You wake up and you are just ready and rearing to go. It was a great night.
Oh yeah.
Nothing crazy happened at all.
You slept like I normally do. Like a rock.
And because the rest of you had been woken up at some point, Idea, you're the first one up, which is really weird. Everybody's still asleep when you wake up.
Did I fall asleep writing?
Maybe.
Adea looks around and she's like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do in this situation. Let's get back to studying. Maybe they want breakfast? What does making breakfast look like? She kind of looks around, unless there's something that clearly looks like we're supposed to be cooking in here. I suspect there's a kitchen downstairs, and she decides it's not. I'm not supposed to be cooking in here.
Yeah, there's no kitchen or anything in here. Everald does trot over happily and just kind of sit next to you.
Well, you're awake. You probably don't understand what I'm saying. I mean, if you got advice, feel free to share that.
She just kind of.
You nod and shake your head forever. It's priceless. I love it.
It's like, you don't understand a word I'm saying. Wait, I just understood that. Yes. I can't speak back, though.
I just see the shake of the head, and it's just like, yeah, and it's just an agreement, like, yeah, I don't understand what you're saying, and just move on.
Her little tail is just kind of going wild.
I have no place to do the work, and I'm hardly qualified to do any cooking anyway, so I'm sure they'll understand if I apologize for not making breakfast.
Everyone will get up and trot to the door and just kind of paw at it with their little hoof, and then look back at you.
Adea will get up. I don't know if you want out or if you're trying to show me something, but I'm down for an adventure. I don't know what adventures await in the early morning. Maybe they're more exciting than I knew.
Day has Everald on an adventure.
Right? So once you open the door, she just gleefully trots out and heads down the stairs.
And Adea curiously follows.
There's a couple of people that are awake at this point. You can smell food has started to be cooked. Everald just kind of goes down to the bar, and where like the entrance to the back is, she just kind of sits there and she like paws at it until one of the kitchen maids comes out and goes, "What? Oh, look at you! Aren't you precious? Are you hungry? Where's your owner? Are you the owner?"
Adea will be. We'll go with that. It's close enough.
Would you
It's
and your
close
dog
enough
like?
for a friend.
You and your dog like breakfast?
Breakfast sounds wonderful.
Are they speaking Latin?
What are they speaking, actually? It's a
Oh,
good
no,
question.
they're totally speaking in Kimry.
They're speaking Kimry. I'm like, Dad don't know Kimry.
Adea does not know Kimmery. She knows lots of languages, but that ain't one of them. I know Fey, I know Greek, I know Latin, I know Slavic. But Chthonic and Kimmery are not languages I know.
A high or a low?
I I need high hopes. I have low expectations though.
Uh, okay. So she's speaking at you in this beautiful sing-song voice, and you're just like, I got nothing. And then
Not get enough time to learn this language from those wonderful women warriors.
sort of like as if it's on the wind, just a Would you like me to translate?
I don't know who you are, but yes.
Well, we know who's keeping an eye on the party right now.
She's asking if you want breakfast.
Breakfast sounds wonderful.
Excellent. And then, like, she says excellent, and suddenly you understand her. And you're like, what? Okay. So, today we either have, uh, pork sausage and, uh, uh, roll or porridge.
Judea briefly considers pork sausage, then she looks down at Everald and she says, porridge.
What would you like for the dog? Everyone just looks at me.
Judea kind of looks down at her and she's like, what does
What do pigs eat?
Everald? Yeah, exactly. What does Everald like? They like scraps or did they like
I
Pigs will
suppose
eat.
Idea doesn't know anything about nature, so she doesn't know that pigs will eat just about anything.
Yeah, I was like they're gonna be humans.
They'll eat anything. They're anything. You just hear that voice again.
what was the voice saying?
Said, she'll eat anything. You can get her anything.
She'll eat anything.
Oh yeah, pigs are picky. Pigs will go cannibal if you're not careful.
Um, Yes. Sitting here contemplating, and she's like, she kind of shrugs because she's running out of ideas, and she's like, the usual?
Usual. Excellent. Okay. Go ahead and have a seat. We'll bring the food out for you in a moment. The girl just like looking between you, watches her walk off, and she just trots over to the fire and plops down.
Got this
Like, well,
morning
that was
thing down
taken
better
care
than I do. You didn't even have to say a word. It's impressive.
She's got this. Um, so it's only a few moments, maybe like 10, 15 minutes before she comes back with some fresh hot porridge for you. And what looks like a bowl of like meat trimmings and some bones for Emerald. And if you were not entirely mistaken, you think they might be pig remains from the sausage for breakfast and probably whatever's dinner tonight. um, she'll set the bowl of porridge down in front of you and then the bowl of meat scraps in front of Emerald. Emerald does not seem to care. She just dives right in and she is making a mess. She is just everywhere.
Somehow I'm very glad Brina's not witnessing that.
she's, she's just looking down like, oh, she's so happy. Uh, that'll be 10 copper.
Today I will dig around her bag and find the appropriate coinage. I have lots of coppers, so I considered asking about how bronze coins convert, but no, we should get the copper out of my bag.
Sweet. All right. So you are enjoying.
Got
Sorry,
an
Mike.
fire. We got porridge. I got a book.
He's like, I've got season tickets for baseball. Do you want some? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that is something to respond to.
Yeah, I love baseball, man.
Baseball's
Give us
good.
some baseball games. And they're in the process of finishing up the brand new stadium that they moved closer to where I live now,
Nice.
in a nicer part of town. So I'm like super stoked for that. I can just take the train and I don't have to like worry about parking.
That's really nice.
Yeah. I mean, the train could take me to the other one, but it was like almost downtown and it's kind of sketch downtown. So
Yeah, like the baseball stadium here in Seattle, you don't go there at night.
yeah, I'm sure.
Downtown Seattle at night.
Just don't go to Seattle at night. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, so you get to enjoy a nice hearty breakfast. The rest of you will eventually wake up. More than likely, probably, I imagine, Erden, you're probably up first of all of them.
The party
You
wakes
did.
up and Adea and Everald are missing.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
And like gets up, looks around. It's like, oh, it's light out. Okay. The day is gone. She took her stuff, so I'm not worried. Have rolled. Brina, Rada, okay. And he'll like tap on Brina's shoulder and then go over to Rada, like, all right, let's get up. Apparently we slept in.
Up in? Like Brina's just like stretching her neck because I'm pretty sure she has a crick in her neck.
And you've definitely got like a piece of paper stuck to your cheek.
Where's Everald? Where's Adea?
When slept in is everybody slept in past Adea. Who knows what time it is?
Well, I don't know. Probably breakfast.
It's like the end of breakfast, yeah. We're heading towards that lunch hour.
Oh no.
Well, we lost daylight, so this will be fun.
Do you know where Everald and Adea are?
I'll go and look. Like, her just like leaves the room.
Yeah, you
Like, I'm just gathering my papers together and making sure everything's ready. And I already pulled off the piece of paper on my face, but so I'm just grabbing all my stuff, and I might have like an armful of papers, but I'll be cutting after him. It's like, Aaron, I didn't ask you to wait for me.
If Adea was several decades older and had glasses, she would look like a wizened sage or scholar sitting there in the chair with her mostly finished bowl of porridge, the dog at her feet, which would actually be Everald, and, being studious by the fire. But instead, she's
still kind of lapping up the dish. Erden, having been with the druids and watched them use different bones and parts and things, he's definitely eating pig bones and pig fat.
My comparative anatomy tells me that this is in fact a pig eating a pig. Like, Earl will just like look at her for a few seconds, like, whatever.
Okay. I've seen weirder.
Yeah.
Adea and Everald are still here. We've won one today.
And Ern will head over to the bar or kitchen or whatever and just be like, and try and find someone who works here.
Yep, there's a woman just wiping down the table. Hello. Would you like some breakfast?
Yes, please.
think I've got a couple of pork sausage links left, but mostly just porridge.
3 porridges, please.
Hungry. Okay.
Oh no, I've got 2 others coming down.
Like, probably as he says this, Brina makes it to the bottom of the stairs. And, like, oh, he did. Actually, there you are.
She's just gonna kind of pause before she heads back. She just kind of looks and goes, I know you're only like half asleep, but has anyone ever told you that you're a very handsome man?
Oh, all the time. I can't seem to get away with it. And you're not
She
half
just-
bad yourself.
Oh.
And we're flirting with the kitchen maid. With
How'd
barmaid.
it happen
To
eventually?
Sabrina's comment today is like, oh, yeah, we're here. We've had morning adventures. There are adventures to be had in the morning. I probably caused some concern, didn't I?
Okay, so despite exhaustion causing disadvantage, I got an 18 on glamour.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh, I don't know if I didn't roll a glamour. Oh crap.
Oh. So some of the guests that are in there I've started looking over in your direction. You haven't noticed because you're like, oh, Ide is still here, Everald's still here. Woo!
I probably haven't noticed that I forgot to put up a glamour.
Yeah. Erden, though, you have noticed that people are starting to stare in one particular direction.
Hey, Brina. Did you forget something upstairs?
No, I have my papers and my ink and my quilt. Why? What did I forget?
Today I will lean down and be like, I might have forgot too, but it usually causes a little less concern.
Like, I have a feeling, like, I'm gonna, like, look over towards where people are probably staring at me and, like, oh. Oh my, didn't I? Like, you just kind of, like, whispering, or didn't I? But how do I fix it now that they've seen me? That would be even weirder for them.
You forgot something upstairs, didn't you?
True. But I don't think. Okay, well, I'll go check on Rada. How about that?
Yes.
Whatever Ide is eating for breakfast, I'll have that.
Ronald will have like just left the room and is heading down the hallway when you see Brina just like rushing up.
Brina, did you just forget to put your glamour up?
Everybody saw me, and now they were staring, and now I'm really fucked. I rolled a 6. My glamour still sucks.
You're too panicked to get it right.
Let's try that again.
Okay. I'll like put my papers, like, put them in a better pile and like set them down and.
Okay. Let's do a bit of breathing. Calm down. And
Game roll.
um,
Rolled a 4 twice in a row.
okay, Rada, I am actually going to need you to roll perception this time.
nah, that's not good. Alright, so. Despite that being a natural 2, that's still a 10.
In your sort of hazy, tired state, looking at her a little blue-eyed, you're like, yeah, she looks Kimry. That's good. That's good.
Dare I ask what I actually look like?
You've managed.
Like
You've managed to straighten your hair and lighten the color of your skin a little bit. but your size hasn't really changed. You might be able to pass off as like a 10-year-old child.
If you knew that that's what you needed to pass as.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I don't have any recourse of knowing how good my glamour is, do I?
No, because from your perspective, if you look at yourself, you see you.
Yeah, and Rada has basically just given me an okay,
Yeah.
She's
and
giving
I
you
trust
a
Rada,
she's
so
giving
I'm
you a
not thinking that
sleepy
there's
okay.
yeah. I mean, like, I know you're sleepy, but at the same time, you are also our passive perception queen. So in my brain, your perception, even while sleepy, is still going to be good.
Yeah, like, yeah, I'm good.
I mean, because the fact I have exhaustion, I have disadvantage on skill checks.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a natural 2, but with the perception modifier, that's still a 10.
You have the same perception modifier as me?
Yeah, the additional stuff for my passive perception comes from the observant feat.
Aha.
But let's just wait till I get skill expert.
Hmm.
I could
Alright.
have put mine in perception. Apparently, I put it in history, though. Actually, I have a couple of expertises.
The two ladies come down the stairs about the same time that the barmaid brings the 3 bowls of porridge. Uh, she sets the bowls down, looks up, glances over where Rada and Rena are, kind of okay, and just kind of like turns away. Uh, from that, and then looks back to you and says, 30 copper.
But of course. You'll pull it out and hand it to her.
I shall walk away. And you've got 3 bowls of porridge to balance your way over to.
Narun sat himself at a table.
Ah,
And
okay.
wave the other two over like, I have breakfast.
Thanks, Sheridan, and I'll hand him over the 10 copper for my breakfast.
Right.
So are people still like now that I've come back downstairs? Are people still staring?
Seemed to be the case. They've gone back to whatever it is they're literally doing first thing in the morning.
Okay.
Or first thing in the afternoon, I guess.
Is it still raining?
Uh, no. Does appear that the rain has stopped. It does still seem to be overcast though, which may explain why you weren't woken up earlier because there's no sunshine streaming into windows or anything.
Mhm.
So, not raining, but not sunny.
The first time Greena's had porridge. I think so, but I can't remember.
I cannot remember either, but probably not because it's going to be a pretty popular food in Europe.
That's what I was thinking.
So, yeah. Another one of
And
those
from
weird.
I was gonna say for my second attempt at my glamour where Rada said that sleepily said that I looked at I tucked all my papers and stuff into my bag, so I'm not rushing around like a hairy Right.
Okay.
So we've lost a little bit of time today for getting to our destination, but we should be able to get there eventually. Definitely will take just as long because just because the rain stops doesn't mean the mud stops.
Mm-hmm.
Only means the mud can start to stop.
It's true.
Why do I have a feeling that I'm sitting on like the bench or chair and my feet are just swinging because I am short?
Because you probably are.
Yeah, and so my feet are just like happily swinging as I'm eating my porridge. Do, 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 do.
Anything we want to do before we leave or something?
No, we should we should cover lost ground.
Other than say thank you to the proprietress? No.
We go where shiny pig friend want me to take you?
Can you repeat that, please?
We now go where big shiny pig friend want me to take you?
Yes, yes, Emerald. We do now go there if you would be so kind as to lead the way.
I can vouch for Everill's leading skills. She understands how to do morning adventures better than I do.
Rita's just gonna laugh at that.
Hey, Dan, when was the last time you were really up at this hour on your own volition?
Not sure if I ever have.
There was
Maybe a bad nightmare, but why would you? But you can't do anything. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not sure I ever have.
there was one time where you did get early. I just don't remember when. I think
Did
it may
somebody
have
force her
been.
to get up early?
I mean, if you're a farmer, yes. If you're a merchant, probably.
I don't know if there's a time where somebody forced Idea to get up early or not, but
There was definitely a time where we had, or where we needed to go somewhere, and Idea unusually woke up early and went to bed at the correct time. I don't remember when that was. I'm pretty sure it was sometime when we had Tom.
okay.
Okay, then I guess it was that one time.
So there are some animals that only come out during dawn and dusk. So if you hunt those particular animals, earlier the better.
I was gonna say, I'm assuming that Emerald's asking that as we're like finishing up breakfast.
Adea tends to be one of those people who maybe they're a little late if they're supposed to be at work in the morning, but they also end up working till absurd hours into the evening. She works in a forge. It provides its own light.
And loud noises.
Yeah. And she's pretty sure that any mistakes made are the reason why she was forced to learn healing. She might not like it, but it was handy.
Well, guess what? You don't have to worry about healing anymore.
Sorry, what was that?
I was saying that I'm assuming Emerald says that as we're like finishing up breakfast.
Yeah. Once it's obvious that you guys are all ready, she'll just trot happily off to the door.
Oh,
Somebody does it because she has no hands.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna walk over to the bar. I'm assuming that's where the kitchen maid that had helped her
Uh-huh.
is like still wiping down another part of the bar or something like that. And I'll just kind of like do a little wave and like a incline of the head, kind of a bow as a thank you, because I'm like, I know you're not gonna understand me, but thank you, and a smile, of course. It's like thank you, kind of just the general thank you kind of a gesture.
She kind of gives you a funny look, but just sort of nods like, okay.
Medea will follow Everald.
Yeah, as everyone's leaving, Ern will happen to leave a three bronze on the table.
Nice. All right, you head up. The roads are, in fact, very muddy. Couple puddles. Everald is making a point to splash in many of them. Because why not? Puddles. She's in a chipper, happy mood.
Everyone else is doing the slow march.
He did got a good night's sleep.
Medea's all like, we're off to adventures, and we started the morning off right.
Basically, your personality moves. You wake up early, which I love. And this is about thing.
Yeah. Good times.
You know, guys, I think somebody's watching out for us.
Why do you say that?
I don't speak a lick of Kimmerid, but I was able to order breakfast this morning.
How? Emerald obviously didn't translate.
Yeah, I
There
was meaning to ask
some-
about that.
I don't know who they were, but they were clearly helping out, and I am grateful for their help. If I knew who they were, I would tell them such, but I don't.
Well, you definitely didn't gesture to the barmaid. She looked very confused when I was just trying to say thank you.
I also realized I don't know what dogs or boars eat, so I just ordered the usual. I don't know what that was, but
Boars
everyone
will
seemed to
eat
like it.
just about anything.
And Everald definitely ate boar.
What?
And here I didn't get the sausage because I figured it'd be respectful to Everald.
Now there have been hunts where I've come across boars at a carcass, and that carcass turned out to be a boar carcass. It's not that they go out
And you're
hunting for it, but if they just happen to come upon it, they'll happily eat it.
That makes more sense.
and you always give a pet dog whatever scraps are sitting around, and that ended up being boar.
Well, if Emerald doesn't seem to mind it, I guess I shouldn't. But what do you mean you were able to understand Kimry without understanding Kimry?
I said there was a voice on the wind who offered to translate. I don't really know who they are, but I took their help, and it was very helpful, and it allowed me to order breakfast. So I'm certain somebody's watching out for us. But I don't know who it is, so I can't tell them thank you in the appropriate manner. But I would if I could.
I'm gonna swing my eyes immediately to Aaron and Rod. It's like, you guys are more adapted deities. This seems harmless, but we're good, or should we be worried about Idea now too?
They also told me that the boars will eat just about anything, which was good to know. But I also didn't know what to order, and it's the usual.
Filed it under a very nice blessing and move on. That's my policy.
Don't think too much about it.
Okay. I just thought with Anna's weird running and you're weird running with the same person last night, I was just wanting to be more cautious. But you make a good point. And Brenda's like just rubbing at one of her eyes because she's still a little sleepy.
If you can't do anything about it, then why worry?
Why should I? Why should I care? That's probably Erden's theme song. It's just bee population, and I got streets and welfare.
Oliver and Company.
Uh,
Sorry,
streets, my
the phrase that Airden said just makes me think it's like nobody with anxiety would believe that. I'm sitting here like as soon as you're saying this, like, yes, this has logic to it. My brain says no.
Makes perfect sense to me.
I'm working on making it make perfect sense.
So the party will hear Rada say, "Forgive me if I'm a little tired. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night."
Did anybody else visit you after you went back to sleep?
I'm getting one right now.
I'll be quiet then. But we're here if you
Oh.
need us.
Oh joy, in March entertainment.
We could do that. We could make this a thing.
I could play my flute. That would actually be really fun to practice. But at the same time, I don't want to distract Rada because she's having an important conversation now.
But I don't have thaumaturgy. That was my favorite entertainment.
Um, no offense, I'm sure you can. It's just, I don't know about accepting offers from deities I'm not familiar with, or what I would have to do on their behalf.
Or I'll just lean over, just like, it's so weird to only hear half of this conversation.
Well, too bad I can't put you on speakerphone.
It's like Ern only does it together too, like try to make sure not to interrupt Rada.
My brain is just like riding on Rada's back, like trying to not be interruptive.
And what if cases of self-defense? There may be instances where I am forced to take a life. I am going into a war after all.
They looks confused for a moment and she's kind of looking around to see if anyone else heard.
It does not appear so, Idea. Erden and Brina are very, very much focused on the half the conversation they can hear from.
Actually, using divine sense, is it possible I can recognize the divine presence?
I want you to give me a religion check.
Yeah. It's not bad. 17.
It's not one you are familiar with. Um, it's certainly not one of the strongest signatures you've ever felt. And it doesn't seem to be a dark deity. They're not evil or anything, but
All right.
I recognize that, but I'm going to have to politely decline your offer. There are going to be times where I'm going to be forced to kill, be that for my own defense or the defense of others.
sorry, what did you say?
T- um, well, my nephew is currently in the room.
Hello, I understand you.
Adon, get out. um, I I recognize that, but I'm going to have to politely decline. There are going to be times when I'm forced to take a life either in my own defense or in the defense of others. I mean nothing against you, and I do believe that life in general is sacred. That sometimes it can't be helped.
Jordan? Whatever divine presence you were sensing is gone.
Okay.
He leaves before Rada even really starts her half of the conversation, or like finishes her half of the conversation. Like she says decline, and it just gone.
Ended the call.
Yep.
I hung up on her.
But since you do have it up, you are feeling some divine presence from somewhere else.
So, Rada, who was that?
A goddess called Svia. No, Sviva.
Zvol.
Well, I sense another divine presence in the area, so be prepared.
Adea will give out a gasp of excitement. She cannot contain her excitement. She's
Yeah.
working on a response as well, but it's relevant here. Somebody's trying to make me nice promises. They sound so wonderful, but I can't be a cleric. But they said that Rada could help if she ends up the cleric, but I still don't know who I'm talking to.
Have you asked?
Heard of the
We're
divine
getting
presence
there.
is coming from the vicinity of Idea. It's familiar.
Like Ern sees it with Idea and just kind of like, that's probably not going to work out very well. I won't even pay attention to who it is.
It's gonna end well.
Get down, Mr. President.
Not that I'm not feeling left out, but I do feel it's kind of interesting that I seem to be one of the few people that doesn't have a god talking to me right now.
Count that as a blessing.
Considering what you and Rada explained in her dream and your dream last night, yeah, I'll count that as a blessing.
Yeah, one of us, at least one of us, needs to not be under some sort of divine contract or whatever. A free operator.
Yeah, so conflicted. She's so excited, but she's also conflicted. Which probably looks fairly similar to when Adea thinks she has a brilliant idea, and then she's like, wait, but this won't work. But then she's figuring it out, and she's like this close to that brilliant moment where it all works and she gets to work. But it's not quite the same because it's not the same situation.
Really, I know who's talking to Rada is the problem. Or not Rada, I mean Idea.
Um, Emerald will stop all of a sudden. Uh, there is a river, and there does not appear to be a bridge. And it does appear to be a very large river.
Is it moving fast or slow?
Pretty fast. I mean, they seem to have had a significant amount of rain, so and it's muddy and it's that heavy spring runoff.
It's like, oh, there's just a tree floating past.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw that
And
last
there goes
segment
another one.
to the Mississippi. I was just like, oh, there goes an entire tree. All right.
Nice shirt, Jen.
Oh, thank you. One of my violin students is like, the guy on your shirt keeps staring at me. Like, it's the doctor.
If
And
he's
she goes,
staring at you, you should run.
it was so funny. I was like, he's the doctor. And she goes, Doctor who? And I was like, exactly.
Oldest Doctor Who joke in the book.
It's like, like, I don't know. My favorite response has always been when they ask Doctor Who. I always like to respond, that works too.
All right.
Anyone see a boat anywhere?
I've seen a boat. It was moving not too long ago.
Did Emerald actually say it? That's not Emerald's voice.
No.
Was that somebody actually saying that, or was that just you being funny?
No, that's just me quoting Finding Nemo.
Gotcha.
So is this investigation or perception?
That'll be an investigation.
Ra doesn't see a thing.
I'll try looking.
16 for investigation. Is there another tree log that we can write?
I got an 11.
Nobody's seeing anything. Dea, have you stopped with everybody else, or are you still walking?
Dea's probably still walking, but she was at the front and she slowly started lagging as she's like excitedly trying to communicate quietly. And she's
Okay,
thinking so many
higher
things because she's so hyper about all of it. She's got so many thoughts going all at the same time.
fair. Can you give me a high or low?
Hi.
Ern is absolutely gonna be waiting nearby. Like, is she gonna keep walking? Do I have to grab her by the collar?
Keeping walking, and she is like almost into the river at this point. Everhold is gonna rush forward and like try to grab part of your clothing to stop you. Let's see. Make an attack, Everhold. Oh, she missed. She's not grabbing you.
Ern is going for a day as well.
Grapple.
Does Dea notice that people are now like rushing towards her?
I miss.
Nope.
Dea! You're just gonna yell.
All right.
Dea looks around as people are like rushing her and like Karina's yelling out her name and she's like, "Is there a problem?
Stop
Hey,
walking!
Dan,
Stop
can
walking."
you give me a dexterity save?
I think that's sure. It's a 3.
Uh,
For a total of 8.
yeah.
I rolled a
You're
2.
you're like you hear everyone, hey Dea! You're like, stop walking. You're like, what? And you like instantly lose your footing and plummet into the river.
Don't worry, guys, I got this. And she cast water walk.
We're good.
It's just water. It's fine.
You're just drenched. It's fine.
I mean, yeah, I suppose I could have done that before I fell in the water, but it's fine.
Well, at the moment, you're the only one able to cross the water.
Oh, were we having problems crossing the water?
Well, none of us have seen a bridge or a boat, and we were a little bit too distracted by making sure that trying to make sure you didn't fall into the river.
What is the surrounding environment like? Is there any like timber or stone or also this is a really wide river, right?
It's a pretty wide river. There's logs floating in there, like full on logs.
Great.
I mean, you're in a wooded area. And there's lots of wood.
How far across is this river?
I think Missouri River. So
Greater
let
than or less than 40 feet? It's been a while.
Greater than.
I think it's greater, but
whoop. Where uh oh yeah. So generally the width of the river is between 2 to 3,000 feet.
that's a lot.
Uh-huh.
That is a lot of feet.
Yes.
I mean, they did, put river boats in there.
Yep. So I'm the only one who can cross the river right now. How badly do we need to cross the river? We do want to cross the river, right?
Emerald was leading us this direction, and we stopped because there's a river. Emerald, do we still need to go forward?
Yes.
Okay, yes, we need to cross the river.
Can't Rada do this trick? I guess she still needs a deity. Hmm.
But also, I would need time to prepare it. That's if I have it prepared.
Well, how many
Oh no,
people
she
are
does have
walking
it
with
prepared. Wow, she actually does have
Wait,
it
what?
prepared.
us? How many people are walking with us? Jordan, Rada, Everald.
I'm riding. So it's as far as who's on foot, you, Emerald, Airden, and Rada. I'm on
Yeah.
Rada's back.
Okay, we can do this. It's not concentration. Just walk with me, and then she'll start pointing at people and be like, "And you can walk on water and cast another one, and you can walk on water and cast another one." And I think I need one more.
Somebody can carry Emerald if need be.
So for the flavor text of this, because of how this world works, you're not casting it on these people. You are casting basically you're kind of solidifying the surface of water for everyone to walk across. You just need to make it enough for that number of people to get across.
Gotcha.
You're not turning it into ice necessarily, but you're giving them something solid to like step on.
Right.
Mhm.
One more and a fourth level spell slot. But I mean, it can't be helped. We gotta cross the river. Come on, guys. River's not gonna stop me. I hope it doesn't stop you.
Emerald just starts walking on the water. She's like, oh, I've never been able to walk on water before.
If they keep talking like that, you're gonna get something that people call karma.
I have a feeling that that's not necessarily a positive.
I don't know if Adele even knows what karma is, but
Probably not.
From how Rada said it, I'm like, that sounds like it could either be a good thing or a bad thing.
It's not
I feel
necessarily
like I'm being
either.
accused of something. But I'm helping, aren't I? Did I
Yes,
do
you
something
are.
wrong? I didn't notice.
You're fine.
It'll help with the mud too. We might get going a little faster. We only got an hour though, so we should get moving.
Actually, apparently it'll only take about 10 minutes to cross if we walk at an average human walking pace.
Um,
Sure, but that's less time in the
I
mud.
just calculated that.
As soon as you said that, like, that's why the calculator was out.
as you guys are getting to the middle of the river, Emerald will kind of look downriver and she's like, oh, really big tree all the way across river. There's a bridge. Further down.
After a day I move. Cast spells to solve problem, look for solutions later.
Yes, several large tree across the river. We like to call those bridges.
You do make it safely across the river, though. There was one close call where a log came really close to just severing the solid sheet between Idea and Rada. It managed to go underneath, so you were good.
I like a game of Frogger.
A little bit.
Yeah, you're safely on the other side of the river now. I'm actually gonna call it there. I've got a head cold and I'm a little congested, and I need to go to sleep. So,
And I think the
uh,
headspace of Rada right now is making me tired.